Welcome back to Ask Georgie. This week is a super special episode, and we are flashing back Friday to the 2016 GSD Summit as we get ready to celebrate the 2018 GSD Summit happening this Sunday, November 18th. This is the first year the whole entire summit will be online. So just go to getshitdone.xyz to learn more about the summit. And as I was mentioning, my awesome shirt is from the very first GSD Summit that took place at DigitalOcean in New York City in 2016. It was a great experience. We had over 150 attendees. We had some awesome speakers like Gerard Adams, Sheena Allen, the She Works team, Tanya Alvarez, Anthony Frazier, Mike Street, Tasty Keach, and so many more awesome speakers and attendees, and it was a great event, and that kicked off the series of the annual Get Shit Done Summit. Last year in 2017 we had it again in New York City, this time at Impact Hub. Again, we filled up the space, about 125 attendees this time around, and we had awesome speakers like John Henry, James Felton Key, Julian Mitchell, Jenny Glantz, and so many awesome folks. And this year we're doing it for the third time. Again, 100% online, so check it out. We have a great speaker lineup, including Angel Rich, Kalila Wright, Tim Lampkin, Sean Torrington, and so many more awesome folks. Without further ado, let's jump into this week's episode of Ask Georgie. This question that we were asked this week is all about branding. How to start the branding of a product. I love branding. As you can see, I like to brand things. I have my branded t-shirts. Almost for everything that I've ever done, I have a t-shirt or a mug or a cup or some type of like frame or something that goes along with the branding. And so what I'm going to talk about is like really tangible steps to get your branding going. And what do I do when I want to brand a product or a service? The very first thing that I do when I'm branding is coming up with a name, right? So when you're branding, you're assuming that you already have the product, you know what it's going to look like, what it's going to shape like, what it's going to feel like. You already have the tangible thing, and now you need to put some pizzazz on it to get it to be sold out there in the real world. So the first thing is coming up with a name. Let's say we have a name like Goal Setters Incorporated, and that's going to be the name of the company. Now let's get to branding. The first step I would take is you go into this website called Name Checker. There's two versions of it. It's called Name Check and Name Checker. I'll leave the links below for you to check them out. And what I go on this site to do is to see, one, if the name that I have, if it's available, does it have its domain name available? Are the social media handles for that available? Is it already incorporated? And these websites show you exactly that in a very easy way, so you don't have to be looking and searching on Instagram. Is this already somebody's name? Is this already somebody's company? Or which domains are available? You go to that one site and it gives you, lets you know exactly, is this name already taken just the way it is? Most people just usually start with a .com. So we'll type in like goalsetters.com or just Goal Setters, and it'll let you know, is it .com available? Is it .net available? Is the Instagram handle, Twitter handle, Facebook, LinkedIn, all this good stuff, are they available? So that's the first step. And once you figure out a name combination that is available, let's say goalsettersinc.com is available and Goalsetters Inc. on Instagram and all the social medias is available. So I'll then go to the relative websites. The website I use the most to purchase my domains is GoDaddy.com. GoDaddy has just been like one of the easiest websites and one of the ones that I found out about back in the day. I've been getting websites and domains for like the last 10 years. So it's just the most user-friendly one. There's other ones called like Namecheap, domains.com. There's so many other websites out there. Do your research and figure out which one works best for you, but definitely go to a website that sells domains and purchase your domain. So after we figured out our name, then we research, are the names that we're looking for available? Then now it's time to go claim our names, right? So going to the websites that I mentioned before to claim your names, going into Instagram and all the social medias and creating an account on those platforms with your name. Then what I would say is get your logo created, right? At this point now, you own all your real estate. Now it's time to jump into getting your logo created. I'm a graphic designer by trade, so most of the times I create my own logos. But if I don't have the time, or I just don't know what to do for a logo, my first pick is going to Fiverr.com. And I also work with a couple of different freelancers that do logo design. So depending on my budget at the time and So I'll go to Fiverr.com. They usually sell logos and have designers that are starting at $5. My very first logo was literally $5 off of Fiverr, and I also knew the person in real life, so I trusted their design skills. So I'll go to Fiverr if I have, you know, a small budget. If I have a bigger budget, go to like out to one of the freelance designers that I know online. If you are someone looking for a logo, you can check out my company, GSD Solutions. We can do your logo. That's just a little side note. The next step after now, you know, you get your logos back. Most times logo designers will send you 1 to 3 different samples of your potential logo. You pick one and then they finish it up. Now you have your logo in the JPEG as well as a PNG. A PNG is just a transparent background version or whatever alternate versions of your logo you'll have. Now let's slap that logo on our real estate. So we now have our name, we have our domains, we have our social media, we have our logo. Now let's brand this baby. Before you do that though, what I would recommend is sitting down and writing out what will your brand stand for, right? A lot of people sometimes call this core values, company interests, your alignment. What are the top 3 things that you want people to think of when they think of your brand? Is it friendly? Is it lifestyle? Is it dog? Is it family? Is it food? What does your product and your brand stand for? Get as niche as possible. You know, 90s theme is your product for goal setters coaching. So you want to do coaching for women. So then you would put like women, coaching, motivational. Those are some of your like words or your values. And so your brand will live around that. So when you think of like colors now, again, the colors will also tie into like your logo, and then it will be a part of your entire brand. So you'll make sure your colors that you're using, the fonts and typefaces that you're using, the wording that you're using, is this product or service for kids? You know, that's a part of the branding. You can't have it say like F you and shit or whatever it may be. Like, you know, you have to know who your product is for, so that way you can brand around their interests and brand around the message that you're trying to convey, because that's really all branding is, right? Getting a message out there in a way that your consumers can understand it and then be able to consume it, right? You are the producer, they're the consumer. You have to be able to meet them where they are, and that's really what branding is all about. Getting in front of the face of your consumer and appealing to them, and then making them feel the need to make a purchase, invest in your business, use your services, or whatever it may be. So to start wrapping up now, after we get our colors aligned or purposes aligned, we have our logos, we have our real estate, then you want to go in and start creating some content. So these days we have various different ways of how we could market. So content marketing is what you could look at it as. So you could go to websites like canva.com. That way you could create different flyers and graphics and images around your business. Again, you could also hire a designer if you don't have the time to create it yourself or the skills to create it yourself. You also want to create your website. Again, all your graphics and stuff to match your brand. Design your packaging. Design how everything's going to look. Either hire someone to do it for you, or jump on Google and figure out how to do it yourself. Google and YouTube are great resources. Again, that's going to be a more of a time-heavy investment if you're doing it yourself, versus if you have the money to spend. I would definitely suggest giving that work or hiring someone to do that work for you. I've hired people to do the work for me, even though I am a designer, marketer, brander myself. Just sometimes I don't have the time that's necessary, so I have the money and I'm like, hey, can you do this? Well, not can you do this? Hey, can I hire you to do this? That's the way to think of it. Hire you to do this. And then just get that all done. So now you're all nice and spiffy. You have your website, you have your business cards, you have your social media graphics, you have your marketing flyers. Now it's really just getting in front of your audience and your clients. And you could do that by joining different Facebook groups, following different channels on Instagram, following different channels on Facebook, paying for marketing through different websites like Yelp, or getting ads, Facebook ads. If you don't have a product or service that's already in high demand or in some form of demand, you're going to have to create that demand. In order to create that demand, you need exposure and having people know that, one, your product and service exists, you're meeting them at their needs. Sometimes, you know, folks get influencers, pay influencers, or they send products to the influencers to try to drive that traffic back to their brand. But the key thing that I want you to take away from my little rant here is, one, not because you brand something means that someone's gonna buy it or purchase it. I've seen so many people, they're like, oh, you know, my website is done, got my logo, I got my Instagram. People, where are the people? Why is my business not working? You have to put in the legwork. You have to put in the work. That means going to events where people that are interested in your product or service will be, networking, paying influencers, paying for ads, joining groups. Getting in front of your customer doesn't only mean just creating the branded channels and creating the branded content. You have to go where they are. So whether you're blogging, tweeting, engaging, contacting, sending out letters, whatever it may be, you have to go out there and find the customers, then bring them home. And then once you have a circle of customers that are interested, potential buyers, then they will use word of mouth and tell other people. But if you don't have that initial circle, that's really just, oh my God, I really want to know what you're doing, what you're working on, what you're selling, what services you offer. You just can't create the channels and expect it to go anywhere. That's like the main and biggest thing that people get wrong. They're like, oh my God, it looks so beautiful, and I spent so much money in getting it. It looks nice. No, you have to get to the people. And then the next thing about branding like that is really important is, don't spend too much time overthinking your brand. Look at Google, look at all these different websites and channels and companies. Over the years, your brand, even over the months, your brand will develop and change. If you have a $5 logo that you start with on Fiverr, a basic website, a basic channel, but you're bringing in the content and meeting the people and then engaging and giving value, and then people are starting to follow and now look for your products and services, that's way better than saying, oh my gosh, I have to wait until I can afford a $10,000 logo, a $50,000 website, spend $1,800 on marketing, and so on and so forth. No, it does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be functional, represent your product and service correctly, and be able to meet the customers, because that's your goal, to get customers, get money, and make it all work. So those are like the main top things. Like, don't just think the branding is happening on its own, and don't spend too much time on the branding. You know, just get it done so that we can start supplying your product or service, which is the most important part of the business. Not only how it looks. How it looks will boost the sales, but it's not gonna be the only seller of the sales. Some people, you know, we think with our eyes. Some people might just buy it because of how it looks, but the majority and how you get repeat customers and stick is the value that you're creating within your product or service. That is how you get branding going for your business. I'm looking forward to see your business. Feel free to reach out to me if you are starting to brand or you want the work done for you. GSD Solutions is my done for you company, and GSD University is a platform that I've been creating content on. Small courses, some are free, some cost a couple bucks, so that folks can learn how to do it themselves, because I know how tedious it can be to be searching on YouTube and Google and all these different channels for hours and hours and hours and testing and trying and trial and error. So I've done that work for you. So by taking the course, now you could just get the accelerated version of that knowledge. So GSD Solutions, GSD University, done for you. Do it yourself. Check those out, coming very, very soon. And remember to check out the GSD Summit. That's going to be this Sunday, November 18th. And we'll catch you next week for another episode of Ask Georgie. Like and subscribe and comment below if you have any questions. If you have a question for the Ask Georgie season, the information will be in the comments. Thank you again, and we'll see you next week.